What's up, folks, and welcome to another review and thoughts on finally checking out the, I guess, sequel, or requel, whatever you want to call it. I guess not remake, but mostly sequel. It's mostly a sequel, reboot, of I Know What You Did Last Summer, which is again Scream 22 or whatever Scream was. I believe Scream 5, but they didn't put the 5, which I thought was stupid. Always thought that was stupid and lazy. Oh, we don't want to scare people off. To start with this one. They do it here, where, granted, these movies don't have numbers, but I think it would have been better if they did with this one. At least make it, I Know What You Did Last Summer 3, or something. Or, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and then subtitle something, but nope. They're lazy enough to we're going to just put the original name here and pretty much copy a lot of the original movie, but add some new stuff to it, make it modern, put a modern paint job on it, and slap the name and put it out there. I mean, we have Jennifer Love Hewitt is in this as well, as is Freddie Prinze Jr., which I'm not the biggest fan of his character in the first two films. Mostly of his acting I didn't care for. Now here, yeah, he's older, but I don't know, like he seemed more, I guess, polished as an actor, I guess you can say. I didn't mind him here more than what his role was here, though a lot of fans or people are split on what they do with his character. And again, this is basically Scream. I mean, it's basically a knockoff of Scream. So you know what to expect. It's a whodunit type thing. Who's killing everyone? And I will say the acting from everyone's from okay to pretty good. Pretty good. It's a slasher and no nudity. I get it. But still, it's a horror film. It's rated R, I believe. I want to say it's R-rated. Yeah, I think it is. But even so, I remember slashers and horror films used to have nudity, 90s and 2000s films. But that sucks. None of the chicks in this get nude at all. And there's potential scenes or shots. But, aside from that, my negatives, I would say, okay, the storyline, basically, if you watch I Know What You Did Last Summer, 1997, then you know what this movie is. Because it does just, do speed runs through it. It goes, oh, we did this terrible thing, and now we gotta be quiet about it for a year. And, oh, the killer's gonna come after us now, after last summer. So, again, it's the same thing, really, but it's just modern a bit. You have cell phones and, cameras. But I did like the fact they don't really do much with the whole... it tries to also rip off Halloween Kills. And I'm not talking about the kills. I'm talking about the whole political town of, Southport or whatever, I believe this little town is called, where the town, pretty much the mayor or whoever is trying to cover up, stuff that happened, in the 90s. And he wants to try to redo the whole town, make it more suburban and Hampton, as they actually put it. Hamptify it, I believe. That's how they described it. And yeah, pretty much granted now I will say, I guess I don't know if you can really say it was their fault to begin with. I mean, in a way it is, because the guy, their friend, was standing in the road and the truck just swerved off the thing. But then, when, like, the whole conclusion of, why this is happening, and at first I thought it was two spoilers. At first I thought it was two killers, but I guess not. It's just, oh wait, yes, there is. Sorry, there actually is two killers, just like in Scream, and Scream 2, and Scream 4, and 5, I believe. Yeah, and 5. But, or no, yeah, 5. But overall, and this is directed by Jennifer Kaytin Robinson. I love her interview where she's like, yeah, I wanted to do something that would shock the audience. It didn't really shock me, to begin with, but okay. I don't know. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are shocked of how bad a lot of stuff in this movie is, because the movie's kind of boring. It goes by a fast pace, but it's to where we don't really care, or at least this viewer. I didn't care about most of the characters. I didn't care for even the Stevie character, or not Stevie, but the Tyler character, this podcaster who is obsessed with the towns of Southport's history, of Jennifer Love Hewitt's character Julie, and Freddie Prinze Jr.'s history of the town. We don't really know much about her other than that she's a lesbian and she's a podcaster and she's a fan of the show, the town, and that's it. Like, and then she dies very fast. So, like, we don't really know anything about her other than that. I was confused at the beginning when, I guess the one blonde chick, I forget these characters' names aside from Milo and Ava. And Danica. Danica's the blonde. So Danica, I guess she was getting engaged at the beginning to the first guy of the friend group, I believe. But then they broke up over, the incident. So then now she's getting engaged to somebody else, I guess. And then that guy dies shortly after he's introduced. So, like, the movie, again, it does go by a fast pace, but it's to the detriment of the characters, because we don't really know much about anybody other than Danica's getting married, or got engaged-ish, and now she's a widow. Some of the dialogue in this is funny to me. But we have a Stevie character who I was confused on what her backstory was. I know they mentioned, like, I guess her dad, something to do with her dad, either he died or money issues or something. Or he went crazy or something, and then she went crazy, or she was on drugs, or he was on drugs, and I don't remember what her backstory was, but pretty much she knew the guy, I guess, that they killed last summer accidentally off the cliff, or off the side of the road. Granted, they do it different, but it's the same thing. They do fake outs a bit towards that, in that scene where you think the one guy's gonna get hit of the group, but he doesn't. And we don't really have any douchebags in the group, I will say. Although a lot of characters are stupid in this movie where they do dumb stuff. Yeah, I love how the one guy, Danica's ex, he shows up and he's like, he gets a warning. He gets a message of "you're next." In the next scene, he goes off in those little steam rooms at the gym, or at the Y, or whatever. He goes there and he gets that message, and then he goes sitting outside on his porch or on his deck drinking a beer alone, as if, nothing's gonna happen to him. And what happens? Of course, he dies in that same scene. I was shocked that they killed the dad, because he's the mayor of the town, and I thought maybe he might have been behind some stuff, but then I guess not. Or, no, I guess. He isn't. But he dies. The the Stevie character, pretty much we find out she's behind it, and she wants revenge. And also Freddie Prinze Jr., I guess, is, you know, Team Slicker Man. Because, you know, not that... Because I was interested in their relationship. Him and Stevie, where her parents, I guess, again, I forget the whole backstory of her, but he pretty much, I think, is her her guardian. So, like, he decides to help her kill off her friends, one by one, and then just to get revenge, and then that's it, I guess. And I'm going, like, so, wait, so he is willing to actually do that, because his whole justification is like, they messed up her life, they deserved it, and that, but then he dies, of course, so then it's just up, so then our two survivors, even though we thought Danica died, but turns out she doesn't, which is okay, but they do set up for a sequel, which I see in the box office and the reviews on this movie, I don't know if it's gonna get our sequel, and they do a stupid scene with Sarah Michelle Gellar, yes, Buffy, Helen's character from the first film, which also, they tried, I don't know if it was supposed to be like a parody, I guess, or like a Nightmare on Elm Street type thing, because they tried to throw some humor in this movie, which does not work, especially in that scene. I didn't think it really needed it. We didn't really need her to begin with. I was spoiled knowing that Sarah Michelle Gellar was going to be a part of the movie, so that's my fault for reviews, I guess, looking at them. But even described it and then seeing it, I understand. I mean, it's not a scary scene. It's her talking to Danica in her sleep, and then, or in the dream, and then she turns into like a bony corpse, and then she wakes up as if this is a Nightmare on Elm Street film, or wannabe. And it wasn't scary, it wasn't creepy. Also, again, the look of the killer, Slicker Man, I'm sorry, Hook Man, Slicker Man, whatever, the Fisher Man, I'm not buying it. I didn't buy it in the first two movies, and I don't buy it here. Even if they try to make it more menacing, which, whatever. There's no good kills in this, really, except for maybe the first kill with the fiance with the hook, I forget what they're called. Those guns that you use to shoot at, like fish or whatever. I forget what it's called. Not a bow and arrow gun, but I forget. But one of those gun things with the hooks on them, or arrows, and that was a decent. It really, you see it off screen. They cut away when the hook goes into the guy, so that sucks. And then I would say maybe the dad of Danica's ex-boyfriend, his death, where the hook, we do see the hook practically go through the guy's throat, through both sides. I thought that was decent. The aftermath of these kills, like, they're okay, but, like, that sucks, because, like, even I had problems with the first film with that. There was only one good kill in the first film, and that was with Leonard from Big Bang Theory. Everything else, like, either off screen or just lame. But yeah, you have Jennifer Love Hewitt's character, which Laurie Strode her a bit. Although I would have liked it if they just had her come in for like one scene of explanation, maybe twice, but then don't actually don't be in the third act. We didn't need her to come back and be like, oh no, and then she realized that, oh, it's Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character, who I forget, Ray, I believe. is his character's name. And they have a little back and forth in the third act. I love how the Ava girl, she has a knife in her back and she's still able to shoot I forget what those guns are called. You have them on the boats and you can shoot them at sharks or whatever. I forget what they're called. But she shoots him with that. He dies. And then at the very end, we see Danica wash up on shore. And pretty much she survives. They get out of the hospital. And then they're talking on the pier. And they're like, oh yeah, by the way, Stevie's alive, so we gotta kill her probably. No, not really. But yeah, we have to kill her. So then, yeah, it tries to leave off her sequel. And I hope it doesn't get a sequel, because this was not needed. Who's clamoring for I Know What You Did Last Summer? I mean, bad enough the third film, which I have not seen. I'm about to watch it now, finally, because I can't find it anywhere online. Because I guess that's how bad it is. Even the internet doesn't want you to find it. But, yeah, I was able to find it. Jack Sparrow style. But, yeah, we shall see just how bad this third, I Will Always Know What You Did Last Summer, is. Because this one, it failed to where at least Scream 5, I have problems with that as well. Scream 6, I really have problems with. It's like all these franchises that they try to bring back just don't need to exist anymore these days. Because it's either political bullcrap in them, or statements, or agendas, and, or we gotta change stuff because we don't want to offend people, or that's aged pretty bad, we should change it. Like no. Like, I would, at least the Scream films, granted, some of them even got lazy with their kills, but at least some of the newer ones, I believe at least 6 had some fine, or at least okay kills for whatever characters they wanted to kill in them. Because mostly all the main characters survive in those movies, which is stupid. It would have been interesting if they actually killed the whole new cast of characters in this, and then we were actually left with Julie again. Also, I guess Brandy was supposed to, I don't know, maybe she's in the post-credit scene? Possibly, I guess. Because swore I saw reviewers she was in this movie somewhere. Because even Jennifer Love Hewitt talks about Brandy as if she's in the movie. They do reference the second film as well. I still know. And they don't heavily reference it like the first film. Granted, even the first film, they do it tastefully, where they do little small homages to the first film at least. But the second film is like, they mentioned the Bahamas, and then Ray's like, there's business there taking place I don't want to discuss. I just don't recommend you escape to the Bahamas, for reasons I will not explain. I thought that was funny, because of what happened there. But, yeah, aside from that, like, the kills are lame. The acting's just fine to okay, really. Not really amazing. The editing is fine. The look of the film's okay. It's just an okay film. I wouldn't watch it again. I would probably watch the first one, at least, because I don't know if it's because it's 90s, like it's a more, not darker, but tone. Well, I would say that a little bit, because at least, plus I like the music more in there as well. I didn't like any of the music. I didn't even pay attention to any of the music in this, so that even proves how bad the music is, the soundtrack of this is. But Yeah, I don't recommend this one. I do think I guess if you're a hardcore fan of the first two films, then watch this. And if you're a fan of, again, a Ray character and his arc, if you want to call it that, I guess, watch it for what it is. But overall, I did not enjoy it. But yeah, if anybody's interested, let me know down below, PayPal or Patreon for reviews. If you want requested movie reviews, reaction videos, music reactions, whatever, let me know down below at my PayPal. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Peace and love.